for example, that his bill included an assault weapons ban, that it included community policing funding. It included a lot of things that the African-American community and other communities have been calling for. I do think that in this case, I go back to the words of Justice Sotomayor, the Supreme Court justice, who wrote in her autobiography that minority communities are often the biggest victims of violent crime, and that she, as growing up in a Puerto Rican community in New York City as a child, witnessed a lot of violent crime, and this is true in African-American communities as well. So you can't think of these communities as monolithic.
No, of
They're
course
not monolithic. They have a wide range of views.
But the fact is, David, that during the course of this campaign, let me jump in because we have limited time. During the course of this campaign, when this happens, when Black Lives Matter protesters show up, what you generally hear from the candidates is, is sort of that they sympathize with their perspective, that they, don't stick up for law enforcement in this country, which Bill Clinton did during his administration. So the question is raised is, in terms of these candidates in the Democratic Party, some people look at what Bill Clinton says and say, it makes sense. He's making sense, and they feel like the Democratic Party does not make a whole lot of sense anymore in a lot of ways. And I want to put up a quote from Dan Henninger in a piece that he wrote yesterday, which was based on the Panama letter situation, but he's talking about how Democrats approach the economy. He says, in the now extinct Democratic Party, the party of Hubert Humphrey, Jimmy Carter, and Bill Clinton, room existed for the private sector to breathe. Not yet unhinged completely from economics, Democrats understood the symbiosis between healthy private production and public revenues. Both Presidents Carter and Clinton deregulated economic life. No longer the deconstructed party of Barack Obama, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and a forced recruit Hillary Clinton says just keep squeezing them. There are those who look at what Bill Clinton did yesterday and they're reminded of another time when the Democratic Party was perhaps more pro-economic forces. And
well, in the interest of time, let me quickly respond to this. First of all, if you want to live like a Republican, you vote like a Democrat. That's an old saying. If you look at the economy under Barack Obama, it has grown in employment and GDP and stock value every single month over the last, I believe it's 67 months. So I dispute this notion that somehow the current Democratic Party is bad for the economy. Quite the opposite. I think the Democrats have done a fantastic job.
You can dispute it, but you can, you need to talk to the supporters of Donald Trump, and you know what? Also the supporters of Bernie Sanders, who, in different ways, are extremely unsatisfied with the way this economy has functioned over the last 7 years. So you can't negate what those people feel, David.
Well, but now you've introduced something different, which is not whether regulations or the treatment of corporations is somehow good or bad, but whether enough people in the economy are benefiting from the growth, and that is a legitimate, absolutely important, in fact, critical issue in this campaign season. Economic inequality and wage stagnation are top of mind.
Right, but President Clinton deregulated